Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, Fabulites. I have a question for you. What opens with Ralph Angel inviting baby mama Darla on a date? And what closes with Aunt Nova embracing Micah at her fundraising rally event? If you guessed Queen Sugar Season 2, Episode 2 to Usward, then you're correct. Thank you for clicking and sticking around for my recap and review. Like, comment, subscribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're new subscribers, I'm so excited that you're here. If you're new watchers, if you're not new watchers, I'm so excited that you're here. If you're old subscribers, I'm so excited that you're here. I could say I knew you would. Okay. So let's see how we got from opening to closing. Ralph Angel and Baby Blue, or he's not really a baby, but Baby Blue, are doing a drive-through at Darla's toll booth job. They're bringing food gifts, and Ralph Angel asks Darla on an official date. So then we're at the bar. There's a barbershop, black barbershop scene. Nova enters. She's picking up her donation can for her organization. The can is a little light, a little empty. Nova let the people know this can is a little light, it's a little empty. She give her talk about, a lot of us be in jail just because we don't have $400, $800, $2,000. That's what this fund is for. Put your money in the can. And the head barber in charge, head cutter in charge, he says he want all the tips to go in the donation can. And so she inviting people to the fundraiser. He called her a queen when she entered. And when he leaves, Miss Nova, the head cutter in charge, gazes longingly after her. Oh, Nova. She be putting it on him, don't she? Nova be putting it on him. Nova be putting it on him. She know how to put it on him. Okay. So then next we see Nova at Aunt Vi's. She making the rounds because she got an event to get ready for. So it's all kinds of stuff involved with the getting ready-ation. So my ear is clogged up. So she's at Aunt Vi's picking up food for the fundraiser. She asked about Micah. Is Micah back in school? Micah been in school for 3 or 4 days. How he doing? I don't know. He ain't eating. He acting like nothing happened. Nova goes into his room. Hey, nephew, how's school? Anything you want to talk about? I don't know what the Popo said to you or what they did, but we can talk about it. We can talk about anything. And meanwhile, baby boy Micah, he's like, he's been dazing off into space. This whole episode is like he's in his own zone. He's in his own world. And then Micah says, I'm fine, really. And he's still staring off into space. I'm fine, really. Really, I'm not fine. But I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. How we heal that? How we address that? How do we solve that? Okay, so then when Nova comes out of Micah's room, Charlie is in her boss mode. And we all assume she going on some Queen Sugar business, but we find out that her final divorce mediation is scheduled for this morning. When we met her, she was a happily married woman, and now she's about to be sadly divorced. Okay, that's last season when we met her. She was happily married. Okay, so we see Ralph and Blue. They still doing their father-son, thing. They got taking care of business at the feed store. Blue is kind of doing his thing at the feed store. And his daddy is like, hey, hold on. You can't just be, wait, hold on, little child. And the little boy is like, oh, I know all about the chickens. This is how you feed the chickens. This is what you do. And the proprietor is like, his granddad used to bring him here all the time. And the proprietor compliments Ralph and tells him that his dad, Ernest, would be proud of him. This is an ongoing theme. The men of the community, this is the second man who's told, and maybe the third, You know, your dad will be proud of you. We proud of you. You doing good, son. Ralph gets his bill and then he goes to the bank. Now he finds out that Charlie has to sign off on all withdrawals. So Ralph leave the bank, he don't get a withdrawal. So we see Miss Vi at the High Yellow Cafe. Is that what it's called? It's called the High Yellow Cafe to me. Okay. And Ralph and Blue come in. Vi is super busy. People didn't come in. The freezer done went out. They can't serve the people meat. They protesting. She on the floor working, you know, because the people didn't come in. It's like a lot going on, right, Bella? It's a lot going on. And then Ralph is like, I was hoping you watch Blue. And then baby Blue spills the beans about his parents' date. And then, but that's after Vi had said, you know, he always welcome to stay with me. You know, go fill up the sugar. Go, you know, she used to having him around, so she know how to keep him busy. And he used to being around, so he knows how to, you know, there's some productive things that he can do that he know he can do. So they got a good space for him. And then she asked, Ralph Angel asked Aunt Vi, do you talk to Charlie? And Vi is like, you know, her divorce mediation is today. So I need you to give Charlie some grace today. And Ralph sees Remy and goes over. He says something to him. I think he's assuming that Remy knows, you know, what's going on between him and Charlie or what Charlie has done or whatever. And Remy is basically like, you know, I'm here for you. You know, whatever goes on between me and your sister, I'm here for you and the farm. I'm here for the farm, basically. We want this farm to be successful. And he's like, you know, why don't you go over to so-and-so and get a microloan? And Ralph is like, I can't because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that. Remy is like, the microloan over there is designed for you. It's designed for you. You know, you qualify. And Ralph is like, so maybe I could do this by myself. And then Remy is like, you could do it by yourself. And then we see Nova, and Nova comes in. So they both been busy on their own thing, and they collide. This ain't really no big collision, but they interact with each other. And Nova is trying to get Ralph to use his truck to transport stuff for the event. You know, come to the event. You know, she on her thing and he's on his thing. He trying to get this money to pay this bill, to get these soybeans, to get this money. You know, he got this date tonight. He got, you know, so they run into each other at the cafe. Nova's on the fundraiser mission. Ralph ain't got no time. His truck is full. He busy. Okay, so then we're at the mediation. This is the divorce mediation. And Davis, he wants a one-on-one with Charlie. Well, this has been an open process, sir. Why are we doing one-on-ones now? That's what one of the lawyers or the mediator asked or whatever. And then they get their one-on-one time. And, you know, she's like, what is it, Charlie? What is it? What do you want? What is it that you want? What do you want? And he has decided that he wants joint custody. And Charlie is like, no, you don't need joint custody to spend more time with your son. Because he's like, you know, I want joint custody, especially after what happened with the police. He needs his father in his life. She like, the last thing he needs is your sorry ass, and you don't need joint custody if you want to spend more time with him. You need a commitment to spend more time with him. Just spend more time with him. And so he says, I already spoke with Micah. And Micah's cool with it. You know, he said he want me to have joint custody. He's in favor of it. And Charlie, then we see Charlie, she's calling Micah on the phone, and she reaches him on the phone, and she like, you know, where you at, baby? He's like, I'm with friends. She like, with what friends? Kiki, what, you know, because she's at his school. I'm at your school. Where are you at? And he walking around the city still in his days, and he says, just checking out the city. I'm okay. I just need you to give me some space. Bye. And then we see Charlie, she breaking down, crying in the school parking lot outside of the car. We haven't really seen her break down. What I do notice is that when everybody else is dealing with their stuff, they have each other. And she's, I think, choosing to isolate herself or feels isolated. You know, she doesn't feel like she can rely or could rely on or connect with, you know, the other people. So, but everybody else, it seems like, well, I guess big sis Nova, she I don't know what's going on, but anyway. Okay. So then we see Nova. Speaking of Nova, we see Nova back at the barber shop. She with the head cutter, and he's showing his sprungness, and they kind of go back and forth a little bit. Nova's like, it was cool, and he's like, and she's like, okay, we cool, and he's like, I just want you to know that you can call me. It don't matter what time of the day or night. And Nova's like, okay. So then we at the cafe, and one of the workers is looking kind of spaced out. Aunt Vi is like, what's up, girl? What's going on? You look like you seen a ghost. And she's like, that boat, I'm not sure if I heard it right. But basically, some people have already left heading down to the coast because the boat that Hollywood is on, she thinks, has had an explosion, an electrical fire. So some people might have made their transitions. When people be working on those rigs, it's so dangerous. It seems so dangerous. So Vi calls Hollywood. She, as soon as she hears, she pick up phone, call him. Hollywood, pick up, baby. She gets his voicemail. Dun dun dun. Ah. Okay, so and then we see that Micah, he not really quick enough to catch the bus. I don't know if they showing us that he's used to, living in LA and having his own car, and he don't really know how to navigate things like getting his money out for the bus, knowing how much the bus is, knowing whether he get on the bus. She like, you got to transfer? Like, this is New Orleans. Now, New Orleans ain't the fastest city, but baby, this is a city. You're going to have to step aside because there's people waiting. We got to go. So he stumbled off the bus. And he walking around looking at New Orleans, like, different scenes. And there's some beautiful shots in there. He looking at people, he looking at signs, he looking at stuff. I guess, New Orleans, I would imagine, I haven't spent a lot of time in LA, but New Orleans is like a blacker city, a more cultural city. It's more than LA. I don't know. I haven't spent time in LA, but I spent time in New Orleans. It's got some weight to it. I don't know why I have this impression of LA being light, not just light and white, literally. But I don't know. But anyway, I don't know. LA could have some weight too, because Black and Sexy TV come out of California, LA. Right. Okay. Anyway. So then we see the family restaurant on their date. So the baby is with them because Aunt Vi is down. She got to go figure out what's going on with Hollywood. So there's Darla, there's Blue, there's Ralph Angel. Ralph lets Darla know that he's getting a loan. It's a FSA loan, and without Charlie having her hands all over it. So then we see Charlie at home pacing, kind of, sort of, but kind of still. It's kind of like you can tell she's agitated, but it's not like it's a lot of movement, but you get the feeling of like it's a movement. It's internal movement. She picks up the phone. She's making a call. We hear the ring. She gets the voicemail. She leaves a message with her mom. And that's, it kind of like this feeling of alienation. Even the way she left the message with her mother, it was like, when's the last time they spoke? What kind of woman doesn't have a relationship with her mother? And I know a lot of women don't have relationships with their mother, but that can tell you something about the type of woman that she is, and what she expects, and why she's so alienated. Because she seemed real kind of weird talking to her mother. So no wonder, the whole family support thing, being supported and loved and embraced might be a little alien to her, because she might not be used to it. That's my question. She, and she like, when I was a little girl, this is Charlie to her mom, you always knew what to say when days didn't go my way. It's like poetry. Call when you have a chance. And then we're back at the family date, and Ralph is getting all manly and protective, standing up for his sons' right to play with dolls through an ice cream order. He like, oh, you got something to say about my son and his doll? Well, So anyway, that was kind of an interesting moment. I thought that was a really interesting moment. that might have been the most interesting moment to me, because it wasn't like an aggressive thing, but I don't know, I just thought it was an interesting moment. As an actor, I feel like there was a lot there, although as a watcher, I'm like, I don't know what I got from it. And then we see Charlie at Remy's door. Remy's guy I was calling the engineer before, and he like, I don't usually receive visitors on this day on account of it being the anniversary of Shauna's death. And we all like, oh shit, or that's how I was, and that's how Charlie. She like, okay, I can go, and he like, well, you here now, so come on in. And she was in the Army Reserves. She was in the Middle East 4 years ago. There was an explosion. And he was saying he wouldn't have gotten through it if it wasn't for her daddy. But he really looked like he was going through it. Now, all this last season, and this the first time we done really seen him personally. I've only seen him, so it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I just wanted to give him a pat on the back, a hug, like, oh my, poor baby. I mean, it was intense for me. Was it intense for you? And then we see Vi. She's waiting. It's like a bus where the people who were on that rig are getting off. All of the workers are getting off, or whatever. I guess the workers who survived. And it was several men who I was like, is that Hollywood? Is that Hollywood? I'm looking at Vi. She ain't moving, so I'm like, I guess that's not Hollywood. But then finally, we don't know. We don't know, is Hollywood dead? Was Hollywood dead, Bella? We don't know if Hollywood is dead. We don't know. We don't know. We in the tension. It's stressful. But finally, Hollywood. And she calls him, and he runs to her, and they hug and embrace. Okay. So then we're at the NOLA fundraiser, and we see Micah wandering along the edges, so he done made it to the fundraiser. And Nova gets up and she speaks. She says it's a fundraiser for the community. She's speaking. First, another guy speaks about when he got arrested, and it was like the bail was $800, and he didn't have it, so he ended up staying in jail for a long time. And then Nova gets up and speaks. She's very eloquent and very she sounds like a community organizer. Her cadence, her rhythm, she sounds like she speak all the time. And then one of the white guys in uniform, one of the police officers in the back, was that the guy that one of the guys Nova had a one night stand with? That might be her thing. She might be trying to just fuck him up through the pussy, right? Like, oh, you a cop, but these brown bodies, you can't ignore these brown bodies, because a minute ago you was begging to get back in this brown body. I don't know, but my ears are ringing. I probably sound really strange. And I don't know how I'm going to do this show tomorrow. It's a short show, so I guess that's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Okay, so then we back at the family date dinner thing. And Ralph A. doesn't have quite enough money, because he was styling and profiling and ordering 2 desserts. I want one for my son and one for his doll. Give me the super sundae with all the toppings. That'll show this waiter who tried to denigrate my son for playing with dolls, telling him he need to play with Transformers. Shit, he might have a Transformer at home, Negro waiter. You don't know. We trying to check my son. He don't quite have enough money. And, Darla's like, okay, well, I got it. And he's like, I'm supposed to be doing this for you. I ain't gonna leave him a tip. He don't deserve a tip. And Darla's like, is that what you want Blue to see? And she's like, look, it's just us, baby. It's no roles, let's just be us, how we are. Let's be honest with each other, Okay, so then we see Ralph on the phone, and he's leaving a message with the loan folks. And, I'm going to get the money. I'm going to get the letter from my employer, blah, 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 blah. Who is Ralph Angel's employer? Is it Charlie? Huh? I think it's Charlie. Okay. I think, him working at the farm is like his job, because when he had that other job where they were hustling and stealing phones and trying to tempt him back into some, or tempt him into some BS. So then we're at Remy's. We see Charlie eating pie. Oh yeah, and Remy is like, I was in a hurry. I was pushing you. I was trying to make up for my 4 years of loss, but you still trying to figure out if you want to fight for Davis. I have been where you are. Loss clouds everything. You gotta work through your anger and grief. So that was kind of like a true moment, because she got a lot going on. And then we see Micah watching the rally, and Nova notices him. She lead the stage, and then and she see her nephew. She gone off stage. She hug him, and Micah is like, I didn't know what to do. I just couldn't go to school today. And Nova is like, it's gonna be okay. So that's it. That's Queen Sugar. What you think? Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Be you, be fabulous. Be fabulous, you. Bye.